Welcome back to Let's Dissect with AllTheoryNoPractice. I am that guy, AllTheoryNoPractice. And we are playing Bastion. Partially as promised. I know about a week or two ago, I promised I was going to be doing Assassin's Creed 4, but the game straight up doesn't work. I tried recording it, I got a couple episodes in, went back to play it again. Game doesn't save, and I went online, found out there are multiple threads dedicated to that bug, so it's a well-established bug. Every fix I tried doesn't work, so the game just straight up doesn't work. You can't save single player, and you can't, like, playing multiplayer, it stopped saving my progress gaining the in-game currency, the Abstergo credits, which are necessary for, you know, getting new abilities, leveling yourself up, and continuously playing multiplayer, despite there being an audience. So, yeah, my AllTheoryNoPractice review of that game is that it's literally broken, unplayable, and if that's the state of what Ubisoft is releasing, you shouldn't be playing their games. I was all set to like that game. That was part of the reason I was going to play it. I have a whole history with Assassin's Creed, and that one was theoretically going to kind of save it from my dwindling opinion of the series, but no, it actually made it worse. It's just, the game is literally unplayable, and that's just unacceptable, for that kind of game. For any game, really, you should not have that level of bugs, but that one's especially bad considering they charge $60 for that game at a given point. I don't think I paid much less than that for that game, even though I got it late. So yeah, that is literally just a waste of my money for a broken product that cannot be played. So yeah, that is my Let's Dissect of Assassin's Creed 4. It doesn't work, don't buy it. And that game's been around for 2 years. I shudder to think of what Syndicate and Unity are, because Unity was famously broken. So yeah, don't bother. Such a shame. The Assassin's Creed series just needs to die at this point. So instead, we're playing Bastion. Now here's the thing about Bastion. I know this game is famous. I know it won all kinds of awards. It's like Papers, Please. I'm actually kind of trepidatious going into this because this is actually the third time I've tried to start playing this game. The second I've tried to start playing it for Let's Dissect. I made it in to a certain point. I'll point out where, but it's not very far in. I made it into this one point, this one milestone in the game. And then I just never came back and played it, and I told a friend, I was like, yeah, I made it kind of far in. I got to here, he's like, you literally beat the first level and stopped playing. So, for some reason, this game has never managed to grab me, but we're going to give it another shot, is really what we're going to do. Because I know it's supposed to be really good. We'll see. So yeah, starting a new game. And we're going to see how this goes, because
Prado's story is supposed to start at the beginning. Ain't so simple with this one. Now here's a kid whose whole world got all twisted, leaving him stranded on a rock in the sky. He gets up, sets off for the Bastion, where everyone agreed to go in case of trouble.
So I want to point out, I actually knew to move the controller to get myself up. By the way, I'm playing with a 360 controller. Normally, I would have just been lying there for a while until I realized, oh, I should move. And that's when the narrator announces that I get up. So, there are going to be times where, throughout this game, a lot during this first one, I'm going to have to suddenly shut up mid-sentence, and I'm going to lose my train of thought, because I want to hear the narrator. Real quick, we're going to see if subtitles on. That should help. That way I can actually keep talking. But, my god, the narrator's a fantastic part of this game. His voice is amazing. It makes it seamless. It makes it so you can keep playing. You don't have to stop. And he introduces some fantastic stuff. So, he immediately just told us, head to the Bastion where everyone agreed to go if something goes wrong. Well, it looks like everything's wrong considering our entire world is this floating rock. And if we look in the background, we can see the hazy bits of lava, broken landscape, and despite it just being a 2D backdrop, it kind of works for the idea. It's like, alright, we're floating in the sky, like he said. Colors, bright, vibrant. We can tell we used to be in a brick building, stone building, and now we're going to keep going. And now we've established that, okay, the world forms underneath us. The path will build itself as we go in the right direction, which is a great way to limit where we can go. Because from here, technically, I could have gone in any direction, but the path doesn't build itself up. Whereas the path builds itself, alright, now we know where to go. Can I go off the edges? That's an important thing to learn. Apparently not.
And then
Nope.
he falls to his death. I'm just fooling.
Okay, so you can, and you'll come right back to the platform.
Ground forms up under his feet as it point the way. He don't stop to wonder why.
I mean, I actually did, but I know why, because it tells us it's pathfinding.
Finds his lifelong friend just lying in the road. Well, it's a touching reunion.
That's cool. Press B to attack. Okay. Oh, and smashing kind of gets us stuff. Oh! Oh dear, and you can break... Oh my. So I like how all they did was, here's your lifelong friend. Alright, that teaches us something, so our character knows how to use a hammer. Because lifelong friend. B to attack, A to evade. By teaching us A to evade, I immediately discover, oh hey, I can damage things by rolling into them. That's good to know. But not as much as the hammer, as that debris just proved. This game has already just taught us a ton of things by giving us 2 button prompts. B to attack, A to dodge, and that's really cool.
He sees what's left of the rippling walls.
What happens if I hit A and
Years
I'm not
of
pointing in a
work
direction?
undone in an instant. In the calamity.
Okay, it goes wherever you're facing. Also, we now know there was something called the Calamity. Oh, that looks like an archway to go through, but that's actually just a support for this wall. So I keep wanting to wander around and form up everything despite the needlessness. Because you don't need to have everything formed. Also, I like this giant floating bull crack statue thing. That's kind of cool looking. And these... That is one of the weird things about this game, is it's really pretty, but it's hard to nail down what the aesthetic is to this game. It kind of has its own, like...
That a survivor? No, ma'am. It's a gas fella. Forced out from underground.
Huh, so the fact that this has a name,
Some good.
and I know what it is,
Fella got a piece of him, though.
it's a gas fella. I know the name, and I know where it came from. That tells me this is not a weird part of this world, it's just weird that it's here at all. So, and my character apparently knows that. Like, that's all information that presumably my character knows. This game is so far, and from what I remember of playing through, like, the first level, I'm actually going to try and get to where I played through, for our first stopping point today.
An old repeater falls out of the sky. Ain't a gift from the gods, but it'll have to do.
Deal.
Gotta hold her still to spin up the chamber.
Can I move? So it says I have to hold it still, and I've got an ammo counter, but then it reloads. So I think I've got, from what I can tell, I've got unlimited ammo because there's nothing else telling me what I have in reserve. Can I move and shoot? No. So I become a turret while using this. That's worth knowing. So we're now instantly faced with a dichotomy. Ranged attacks, but you can't move, versus melee attacks, which require that you get up close into the danger zone, but I can dodge, I can move, and I have a little more control of myself and the battlefield. And we're already breeding the most important part of game design, which is interesting decisions. Force myself into danger at the benefit of more movement, more mobility, and more freedom, which, if I'm good enough, is not more danger, or stay safe, but be stuck in a certain spot. Yeah, you get that prompt if you damage stuff. I also love the organic prompts from the narrator based off of what you're doing.
He's worked up quite a thirst by now, so that fountain looks real inviting.
Alright. So it doesn't say, go to the fountain. It gives you a character reason of, kid's worked up a thirst. He's worked up a thirst, which is a close cousin to a thirst. So it looks really inviting.
A school of squirts tunnels up around.
That happened.
Fled here from the mine.
That happened. Also, we now know there were mines somewhere in the world. Ah! Okay, cool. Oh, and we're getting XP. Alright, so now we know, just by fact of XP popping up when you kill these things, you gain XP by killing, you gain it by combat, but not by smashing, because there's no XP when you smash. But also, presumably, that means that... And I can see my XP bar underneath my health, and it's very slowly going up, so that's presumably gonna mean something. And now they have this cool blue scroll, which is straight up telling you, alright, so you have the character reason, and now you have a gameplay reason of, hey, by the way, you should go to this thing, go check it out.
Sometimes you just need a drink.
Oh! And that's how you heal and restore Water, health tonics. Ah, so water is health tonics, or the fountain is health tonics. Maybe it's not even water. It might just be ambrosia. But I'm already loving how much of this game is told through show don't tell. That very important rule of writing and game design, which is just, here's information. It's not, hey, go to the fountain, get a drink. It's, here's this fountain. The kid is thirsty. Oh, okay, well, I guess that means I want to go to the fountain. And you put it together. Here's stuff forming up underneath the ground. Here's a button prompt, and then you use the button prompt, and I started damaging the surroundings. I was like, oh, well, it didn't have to tell me, hey, kid figures out that dodging damages the scenery. It was, no, I hit A, I see the scenery getting damaged, I can now piece together, oh, the scenery gets fixed by that. I missed pressing Y is heal. Okay. And see, I figured that out, but it said press Y to heal. It told me, and then, but that's not at the fountain, but I can refill at the fountain, so the fountain is functionally a full heal. A full infinite heal. Oh, hi. Whoa! And now we learn they have a dash. I'm sure there was actually 2 or 3 points I was trying to make, but I'm just overwhelmed by how much this game is teaching you. Not actually overwhelmed, where it's like, oh god, I'm having to learn so much, but like,
he sets
wow.
Inside one of Zealandia's famous watering holes. Inside's old Rondi, the bartender. The calamity got him before his drinking did.
Alright, so for instance, this game has now just taught us that it just taught us what the calamity does to people.
Kid finds his trusty shield.
Ooh.
But just as he's getting a handle on it,
the
security takes him for a petty thief.
Shielding. Oh boy. Oh! And see, this is a cool. It doesn't tell you this is a cool. I was trying to say a cool thing. I like that this is not telling you. It's not, hey, hold left trigger, your shield will deflect things. It's just, hold left trigger to defend. Here's this thing that's shooting at you. Clearly you want to defend, and by doing so, it's just, oh, also you're immediately learning now that it reflects, and we're learning that reflecting projectiles, are not, it's not even reflect, it's deflect, because it's not going right back where it came from, but you're also learning that reflected projectiles still deal damage to whatever you hit them with.
Yes, fellas.
Uh-oh. And we're still blocking. Give us healing tonics that I don't need. Oh! And see, once again, doesn't tell you, hey, blocking attacks will stun the enemy. It's just, when you block the attacks, because it just gave you the shield, it's like, alright, well, here's these attacks. Here's a good time to, it's like, alright, presumably I'm gonna wanna start defending these attacks. And by defending the attacks, we see them get stunned. Rawr, rawr, rawr. So voila, we've now learned, without it telling us, we have learned that blocking deflects projectiles and stuns enemies. It's teaching us a whole bunch of elements just by having it happen.
In front of the kid.
Oh, whoa, that's a thing. That is a thing. That is a thing. Oh, ow, and it does a lot of damage. It's a really dangerous thing. Oh, so I don't know if you saw that, but it dropped my health to 0 without me healing, and then I went back up to full. So now, again, without telling us, it has taught us you're gonna heal to full as long as you have health tonics, which now makes it even more invaluable to have health tonics.
Kid sees the way to the Bastion out the window. It's a bit of a drop.
Oh, I did not mean to actually go out the window.
He gets a good look at things on his way down.
I'm gonna hope there wasn't anything else I'm supposed to pick up in there.
Bow, and it ain't broke.
Once again, I had to move to make myself get up, which is a game design thing of, when you're ready, continue. Because I could have just sat there, gone and gotten a sandwich, done whatever I needed to do to prepare mentally, and I would have just lain there and the game wouldn't have progressed, which is nice. It's not the game is moving on without you. Oh! And see, now... Also, I was going to say, I like that the game taught us what the Calamity does, because it said, here's Rondi, the Calamity got to him before the drinking did. Well, there he is, petrified as a stone. Fundamentally, the fact that it got to him, voila, we now know that's what the Calamity does to you. Ah! So once again,
Before the kid could loose an arrow, strong and true.
we are
Kid's
now...
a good perch for some target practice.
Alright, again. Hey.
He should draw the string all the way back.
Again, the narration telling us what to do without interrupting game flow for like, here's a pop-up text window giving you the tutorial. It's, no, the soundtrack is narrating for you. Ooh, what's this?
The kid pockets a memento from a breaker, once the fastest man in the land.
Oh, and that's also cool from the Breaker's Bow, so now, we all of a sudden have world building built into an item just off of its name. God, this game is doing so much in such a little time. It's really impressive. Also, the Breaker's Bow fundamentally presents us with a gameplay decision, which is very important because that's what game design is all about. Decisions. Interesting decisions. Do we use the repeater, which is I can't move and I become a turret but it fires faster, or this bow, which is much slower and from what I can tell deals more damage, but I can move. And it slows down my movement while I do it, but I can move. I can strafe. I can aim. Well, I can't strafe because you really can't strafe in this game. Here's a healing fountain, which is nice after their mini boss fight. God, this game is so dense.
Right back at you.
Oh! Last second block. Oh, and there's two of these.
Defenses still work. Bad news is they're aiming for the...
Ow. Okay, so today we learned I have to be aiming at whatever it is that's... whatever's attacking me. Ow! Stop it. Blocked. Also, we learned that, again, it didn't tell me this, but your shield locks on to whatever target is closest or whichever one I'm aiming at, however it works. Because I cannot switch who this is locked onto. Oh, wait! Right stick points me, can spin me around. Ah! See? Just by experimenting with the controls, I'm learning more. So I can block whoever I need to. We're just in that weird problem of I can't reflect, so it's largely moot who I'm aiming at, so much as I just need to be not getting hit by whatever does this. Also, there is no controlling where these go, because I tried closing the distance, but I don't know if you saw, but the one who fired at me right in front of me deflected all the way down to the one at the bottom. Woo! Spinning! I don't think this does anything, other than make me look like an idiot. Which I don't need any help from, thank you. See, and now we see the immediate advantage of being able to strafe like this. Heal, grab tonic. Whirlwind.
Picks up a few pointers from a dusty old tome.
Press right trigger to use whirlwind.
He's a mighty fast learner.
Ha! Because you learn instantly. Clever. Alright, and so now we have this right trigger. Oh, but now we have a new resource. These black tonics, which I'm going to assume are special ability, because we're going to test real quick. Let's grab these. Black tonic. Wow, it's actually called black tonic. I just was describing it. That's cool. Very intuitive. Right trigger? Yep, okay. So that is now our special meter. And we're going to use it again because there's a...
Watch his step.
There's a cloud of enemies. Also, we learned that falling off the edge deals damage. There was a cloud of enemies clumped together. Seemed like a perfect time to use it. Alright, but we're also learning that the bow, because it has the exact same line as the shield, works under the same principle, because I can use the right stick to spin around and aim at something specific.
He finds the distillery right next to the arsenal. Tough part of town.
What I was going to say is this game is so good at visual language. Same line for the shield means same line for the bow, which means they work under similar principles.
The spirits in that distillery, and the kid'll feel like a new man.
Alright, we got Squirt Cider, which is plus 10 maximum health. Fermented squirt extract with a nose of stale bread and ocean water. Very nutritious. So we now know that you could extract things from squirts. Again, world building. And there also used to be an ocean. So there's... That'll be interesting to come across. Dread Rum. Get it? Instead of Red Rum. It's clever. 10% crit chance. Active only when at full health. Okay, so it operates under similar principles as the Zelda Sword. Punching concoction that calms senses and steadies nerves. Favored by the Breakers and other fighting forces. Cool. Absorb stray fragments. Started as a barroom prank, but evolved to become popular with miners and scrapworkers. Metallic aftertaste, of course. I'm assuming the fragments are currency. I'm also vaguely remembering that from previous playthroughs. I haven't had too much trouble collecting them, so I'm not super interested in this. Let's do this 10% max health. Ooh, or critical hit chance. No, you know, I'm going to do crit chance, because I love doing super combat-y damage builds. Spirits provide passive bonuses. Okay. Oh, and I can swap them out. Ah! And again, visual language. This game is now telling us a lot. So we have this slot, and we see the others for level 2, level 3, level 4. But we haven't leveled up yet, so we see that there's going to be at least 10 of these. Maybe more, but at bare minimum 10. And the fact that I can swap these out means, again, interesting gameplay decisions. We have 3, only room for 1. But the fact that I can swap them out, and this doesn't cost me anything, means this is a way, distilleries are going to be a way for me to customize my build, my character build, what I'm good at. And like I said, I want to go super combat-y for now, so I could theoretically, I don't know if these options change from level to level, but if they're all the same option, I could theoretically, based off of the information I have right now, do 10 of these and then end up with a 100% crit chance at the expense of a much lower health and a much harder time picking up stray fragments. I'm willing to bet these are going to offer different tonics, though, and either this will get updated with new tonics, or each level has its own unique set of 3 for its options. Again, all of this I'm inferring from looking at this. From nothing else it's telling me, I can figure that out from looking at this. Also from a history of gameplay experience, whereas new players wouldn't probably, like if this was your very first video game, you probably wouldn't piece that together.
Where the kid can pick the best tools for the job.
But there's nothing wrong with using past experience. There is a problem, however, with relying on past experience. It's that horrible dichotomy where game designers have to design their game as though this is the very first game a person is ever going to play, even if you're making a sequel. It's a terrible world we live in that's forced upon every game designer. Whereas I can just benefit from past experience. So this is presumably where I can swap out weapons and swap them out to different buttons depending on my playstyle. I'm actually going to keep the breaker's bow. So far it interests me more than the repeater. And the hammer, I actually don't have another option, except that we're now learning you don't have to have a melee and a ranged option, despite the fact that it auto-replaced the repeater with a ranged weapon. I could just do 2 ranged weapons. And, suddenly we learn we've got alternative superpowers. So this one is for the Fang repeater, so I can't use it. And it fires bolts in every direction. That's cool. And then we have Dancing Shot. Secret breaker technique that causes an arrow to bounce from target to target. Originally intended only for spectacle, but it proved to have practical uses. Cost the same, it's just, you'll see we only have 1 slot, and that immediately tells us we can only have 1 special. So I either have to have the whirlwind or the bouncing shot. I'm going to stick with the whirlwind for now, because it's a good, like, I'm in dire straits activated power. Like, panic! Also, so despite the fact that this hadn't popped up yet, and I couldn't see that extra area, the game still told me that's where I'm supposed to go. Because over here we got a wall. I already walked over and there's nowhere to go. Well, I already came from here, so it only leaves one option, this empty path here, and lo and behold, something popped up. Fantastic level design that it guides me in this direction, and it's teaching me empty platforms like this probably mean a pathway is going to form if I walk in that direction. Black tonic. See, and there was a bunch of squirts, and it made sense to activate that special right there. Also, I learned, while activating that power, I actually haven't learned this for sure, but it looks like I can't take damage while using that power.
Squirts birthing like crazy in a couple of corn bins.
AKA, here's a spawner, destroy this, otherwise they're not going to stop. Which I would have learned had I stood there and just kept fighting, and as is being demonstrated right now, where it keeps spinning them out endlessly. And because I hate wasting resources, I'm going to purposely use up some... purposely use up some Black Tonic so I can pick up more Black Tonic. Also, going to use up this healing thing since I have a healing thing here. But, also, I can't demonstrate it so well, but I need to tell you right now, as soon as you hit right trigger, controlling the kid gets much harder. So if you see me activate the whirlwind and then go spiraling off the edge of the map, it's because I have a hard time controlling myself. But that doesn't translate well visually I just have to try and tell you about it. Oh, this lady got hit by the Calamity. See, now I'm torn with this dichotomy. Because of my experience with Undertale, I'm torn whether to smash her and just be like, alright, cool, smash her. Or, if I solve this Calamity, will she come back? Am I going to be endlessly haunted by destroying her? We're going to learn. This person is going to become a sacrifice to knowledge.
That one was Maud, the tutor. Once taught the kid good manners. He never used them, though.
Okay, 2 things. 3 things. We just learned a couple things. 1, we learned about the kid. Taught the kid good manners, but he never used them. But I like that we understand the kid's kind of chip on his shoulder, kind of a rude kid. But you get that from his character design as well. There's something about him that's very rough and tumble, very like, yeah, I don't listen to authority. 2, we only learned that after I smashed her, so that almost becomes her eulogy, which is fascinating. And thirdly, smashing people with the Calamity doesn't give me XP. It doesn't drop shards, so switch.
An old ferry barge sends the
Ah!
on the
Ah!
train.
Ah! 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 Okay, crisis averted.
Bastion's real close now.
Heal. Grab this. Oh! We got turrets that are going to shoot at me. Cool. But we're just going to go past them, and I actually don't see the need. Ah! Oh! Now we learned about ones that have grape shot. And they're a darker color. Voila, the game just taught us something new yet again. Dark turret's bad. Really, all turrets bad, but dark turret's the worst. Oh, and there's squirts. Oh, this is bad. This is bad. This is bad. This is bad. Oh, and there's a big one. Oh, everything's going wrong, people. Ooh, I love this soundtrack. This is another game like Undertale that I know its soundtrack is famous and like you can buy separately. But yeah, this one's good. Something heavy. So we have something stringy and now we have something heavy.
Kid takes a chunk of alloy. Smell of barley and spoiled
Oh,
blueberries fills the air.
the controller's rumbling. Oh my! Ha, they're literally called scumbags.
Kid
Alright, we're gonna
maybe
fight them from
shouldn't
range.
have done what he just did.
Oh man, and we got a giant gas fella. Yeah! Oh, they shrink as you hit them. That's cool. Oh, and there's a spawner. This got bad real fast. All right, we're gonna have to start evading. Dodge. 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 Stop following me. Smash. Whack. Wow, he's got a huge wind-up. Oh, but he is smashing holes in the arena that I can fall through. Okay, today we learned big enemies can break holes in the arena. Also, I can't dodge through enemies, so
Kid puts him
there wasn't much place for me to go there. Sadly, I just took a bunch of hits. Smash. Nope, we're just gonna right trigger. Nope, do not fall off. Oh, but I got more black tonic, so we're good. More black tonic. Smash, smash. Come on and slam, and welcome to the... I don't have a way to rhyme that, sorry. There was just nothing good for that. Come on and slam in, and welcome to the Bastion. No, that still doesn't work.
Robs
Please die.
Bag of his last meal.
Whoa! Dodge roll, dodge roll, dodge roll. This game has that funny problem where your dodge roll moves faster than... It commits you to a straight line, but it moves faster than your normal walk. So, there are some games that have that funny problem where it's like, there's no reason to walk anywhere when you can just dodge roll or jump or something everywhere. But this one actually has a reason. I can't finesse control myself, and on such a precarious game map, that's actually a bad thing. So there's actually a reason to walk and be...
He finds the core to the war
Careful.
district.
Also, yeah, that was a cool boss fight of the, here's a big gas fella, and now we learned big enemies can smash holes in the arena. We introduced the new enemy, the scumbags, and we had the spawners. So that was tense, despite none of the monsters, individually, none of them were that threatening, but all of them combined created a rather tense scenario. Scenario? I never know. That's one of those words that changes pronunciation depending on what mood I'm in. But, yeah, it did what a boss fight was supposed to do, which is put to the test every skill you've learned up to this point and your build and everything you've got. So, wha!
He steals the city's heart. Might as well.
Oh! Oh! Oh, this is bad! Oh, this is bad! Also, there's now...
Kid has a feeling you better get a move on. The place
Point
is
of no
starting
return.
to fall.
Because it destroyed... Alright, I don't need the health tonic, I'm gonna leave it. It destroyed the path behind me, so I literally cannot go back.
See, that core Kid took was the only thing making this particular rock stay afloat.
Oh. Well, now we know cores keep things floating
It
despite
just
giving
keeps
me 100 XP. Yeah, I don't want to stick around and fight these things, so we're just going to keep going. Because controller's vibrating something awful, and while I haven't seen the world continue to break behind me, I get the sense that it really... Like, this game has instilled a sense that it's absolutely going to. Also, I notice I'm finding Dreadrum, which is interesting, because theoretically...
Skyways in sight.
I've already got the tonic, so I'm curious why giving me extra matters.
Whisk him where it needs to go.
Alright, and now it taught us what Skyways do.
Now the kid sees something stranger still. His mind races.
Earth. And now, we no longer have the constructed areas. It's no longer the boardwalks and the planks of wood walkways. We're on green, well, not grass, but it looks almost like lichen over rock.
Did anybody else survive?
Altogether more pleasant to behold.
Sure enough, he finds another.
I do. See? That's foreshadowing for 4 seconds in the future, because it says, he finds another. We can't see it, but now we're filled with anticipation of, oh, there's someone here, there's someone here, there's someone here.
He finds me.
Well then. And this is where I made it to every time I've played before, so we are officially as far as I've ever made it into the game in one episode. I'm actually going to stop here, and we'll talk to him on our next episode. Thank you for joining us. I'll see you on the next episode of Let's Dissect Bastion.